Well, hey everyone. Happy Thursday. It is Thursday, September 30th, 2021, 6 p.m. Eastern, and that means it's time for another blockchain update. Hope you guys are doing well. I'm Chris Bennett, your blockchain beard guy, here to talk about what's been going on in the world of blockchain. Now, of course, the big news this week all started about a week ago, last Friday, when the Chinese Communist Party came out and outlawed Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. And of course, really a lot of the headlines around blockchain today are still talking about that big story and the impact that it's had on cryptocurrency prices. If you're interested in learning more, we did talk about this on Tuesday. Be sure to go back and check out our blockchain update episode from a couple days ago, the 28th. So outside of just sort of the general turbulence in the cryptocurrency and larger global markets, there wasn't a whole lot of exciting blockchain news, but a couple things looked kind of interesting I thought I'd share. The first is the Global Energy Institute, an offshoot of the United States Chamber of Commerce, just issued its electricity rate price report. So this looked back over last year, 2020, and calculated the average electricity price per state. And you can kind of see their results here. These states in gray were the states that have the lowest electricity cost, followed by those in dark blue, kind of a light blue or green, then an orange and red. So if you're doing any sort of cryptocurrency mining, at least mining on a proof of work network, you're mining something like Bitcoin, or perhaps you're still mining Ether on the mainnet, well, you really want to look at maybe setting up shops in some of these gray states, at least if you're doing business here in the U.S. For proof of work mining, you have two big costs. The first cost is the hardware that you have to go out and buy. And that's a fixed cost. And then you have a variable cost, and that's going to be your electricity. And so like any smart business person, to maximize your margin and your returns, you want to try and set up business in a part of the world where your cost of doing business are low. And in mining terms, that means electricity. So you can kind of see if you're thinking about getting into this business, you might want to focus down in the South, the Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana region, or maybe the West. Maybe come out and explore the deserts of the American Southwest, Utah, Nevada, Wyoming, Idaho, all looking really good. In fact, when we look at the cheapest states, Oklahoma was actually the cheapest electricity last year at about $7.46 per kilowatt hour. Louisiana wasn't too far behind at $7.50, and Idaho third place at just slightly over $8. So very interesting, and actually this has led to some of the concerns that are driving us to explore alternatives to proof of work, things like proof of stake. Before the Chinese Communist Party came out and recently banned the practice of mining, a little over 60% of the total hash rate on proof of work networks was spread out across some gigantic data centers all located in China. And that's because China has some of the lowest electricity costs on planet Earth. Well, naturally, this leads to a lot of geographic centralization. And of course, anytime the C word, centralization, comes up in a blockchain conversation, people naturally get a little nervous. Blockchain and Web 3.0, well, that's all about decentralization. So anything we can do to avoid looking centralized or doing anything that feels too centralized is going to be a big win. So definitely want to make sure that we're not doing that. Another interesting story. A Banksy NFT, a fake NFT, was sold. Looks like someone hacked onto Banksy's website and attempted to sell off an NFT. This NFT sold for a little over $300,000, about 100 Ether at the time it was sold. But it turns out this thing was absolutely, totally false. kind of see what happens here. So the author of this story explains NFTs a little bit and tells us buyers of the tokens effectively hold a certificate of authenticity to say they own the original item, but that doesn't grant them copyright, and the media can still be viewed for free by other internet users. And this is something I've talked about here before on the channel. Remember, most of the time when you're buying an NFT, all you're really buying is a record on a ledger that says you're the owner of a certain item located at a specific URL. Does that really make you the owner? Don't know. All of this is still so new, and there's so little legal precedent surrounding all of it that it's really hard to say for sure. So, as always, if you decide you want to dive into the world of NFTs, of course, buyer beware. Make sure you know what you're really getting. In this case, everything worked out for the best. In a strange twist, all of the money was later returned to the buyer in anonymous mail who goes by the pseudonym Banksy. Banksy said, "My ETH from the Banksy NFT purchase was just returned to me. Ethical hacker proving a point? Question mark. So maybe Banksy here was making a political statement." Further, he added, "Just a comment to those who feel this may have been some sort of stunt. I would never risk a future relationship with Banksy or any fine artist by hiring someone to hack their website and then buying an NFT from myself. What an unusual day." So it sounds like all of this may have just been a publicity stunt by a white hat hacker. But it really does kind of speak to just how new this NFT market is, how much we're still kind of figuring things out, and how there might be some people out there who potentially don't have your best interest in mind. So, like anything in the blockchain or cryptocurrency space, just take your time. Do your research. Make sure before you invest in anything that you've done your homework and you really think you're making a good investment. Remember something I say all the time. If all of this really is groundbreaking and revolutionary, if all of this is really going to change the world and redefine commerce and interaction and business models between us, and it's a good deal today, well, then it's still going to be a good deal tomorrow. Never hurts you to take a little time and do a little bit of homework. And speaking of homework, last but not least, a lot of people often ask, what's a good way to get into blockchain? I see there's a lot of blockchain developer positions open. Maybe you're part of the Great Resignation, the over 40% of Americans who are currently considering leaving their job or starting a new career, and you're thinking about something a little bit more technical. Well, if you want to learn all the great technical skills to go out there and do web development or blockchain development, there's one resource I highly recommend, and that is w3schools.com. This is an absolutely 100% free resource. And there's a couple things I love about W3 Schools for folks who are just getting started out and want to learn some basic programming or technology tool sets. First is, they have all the popular options here. So if you want to learn HTML and CSS for building and styling web pages, you can. You can learn JavaScript, the world's most popular programming language. Python, another very popular language. SQL, a language for querying data out of databases. And you can see they've got a number of popular technologies here they support. So that's the first thing I really like about W3 Schools is just how much content they have and all the different areas that it covers. The second thing, and what really makes them unique, is all of their lessons come in these small bite-sized chunks. For example, if we click into the HTML tutorial, we can read a little bit about HTML, and then if we want to go try it ourselves, every section has one of these try it sections, and you can come in here and you can go ahead and change your code or your markup a little bit and then see the difference. And sure enough, I can see my new heading and my new paragraph. And in my mind, I think this helps to address, what sometimes can be the biggest learning curve behind picking up a technical skill or learning to program. And that is, you go out and you buy a book and you get this great 1,000-page book and you think, oh, God, this book is huge. It's going to cover everything I need to know. But it's a little intimidating to start. That first chapter might be 50, 60 pages, and you keep telling yourself, well, I'll start it tomorrow, because it looks like such a big undertaking. Well, the way W3 Schools has this broken out, I think is really great, because like I said, all these lessons are just small little bite-sized lessons. You're not going to spend more than a few minutes on each one. They've got quizzes here at the end of many of these sections to test your knowledge. And you're going to learn all the skill sets you need if you want to get into a career in web development or blockchain development. If you do decide to check out what W3 Schools has available and you're interested in doing some blockchain development, I highly recommend you start with JavaScript. So many of the tools and languages in the blockchain world are either JavaScript directly or languages that have been derived from JavaScript. And so if you can learn JavaScript, you shouldn't have any problem. Like I said, it's the world's most popular programming language. And that's really going to put you on solid footing for a career in blockchain or just general web development. One last thing, I thought this was pretty cool. I just saw this today. On the Microsoft Store, Apple may have a similar offering, I don't know. But Microsoft, on their Microsoft Store, has the W3 Schools offline version. Again, this is also 100% free. So you can download this, unpackage it, and install it on your system. And then you have all these lessons locally. You don't need to be connected or online or have a web browser. So again, not trying to sell anything. These are 100% free tutorials. We don't have any affiliation with W3 Schools. I just think they do really great work teaching really, really great skills. So wanted to pass that along. Anyway, that's about it for this Thursday's blockchain update. Of course, be sure to tune back in every Tuesday and Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern. And of course, if there are questions or topics you want to cover, you can join us, ask live, and we'll discuss anything you want to talk about here on the air. So I hope you guys are doing great, having a good Thursday. Like I said, be sure to join us next Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern. It'll be Tuesday, October 5th, for another edition of Blockchain Live. Until then, I'm Chris Bennett, your Blockchain Beard Guy. Have a great day.